Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Judy Lee and you can find out more about what I do in the description box below. We're here to do a choose your career path or career message for the week. And so we'll just see what you need to hear regarding your career or your work or your purpose at the moment. So I've got 3 cards here that you can choose from, and they're from the Crystal Oracle deck. So we've got group 1 here, group 2 here, and group 3 here. And you can select, unfortunately I don't know the name of this crystal, but you can select based on crystal. So this is group 1. And we've got a polished Amazonite stone for group 2. And then a heart-shaped polished rose quartz for group 3. So just see either which card resonates with you or which crystal you like the look of or you feel drawn to, and then just click in the description box below for the timestamp to find out what your message regarding your career is. Okay, I'll see you later. Hi group 1, welcome to your reading on what your career message is for this week. So let's see what this card says. So we've got Jasper Red. So I'm just going to have a look at the guidebook here because I find that this guidebook has a lot interesting take or message. So I'll just quickly grab the page. Got Jasper Red. Okay, so I'll read it out and hopefully you can read at the same time. So you've got nurture, care, protection, energy flow, and life force. And so you may soon find yourself drawn into a situation in which you feel compelled to care for and protect someone who is in need of help. This may be a person or pet that has recently suffered some kind of trauma and is suffering from anxiety or depression. Your love and attention will help them heal, and simultaneously you will subconsciously heal an aspect of yourself that is also yearning to be nurtured. What is being healed is an emotional trauma you experienced in the past, possibly in your childhood, or may even stem from a past life. There's no need to recollect the past or try to figure anything out. Remember that we each mirror one another, and self-healing automatically occurs when we care for another's needs. Trust in the healing power of love. Okay, so just thinking about in terms of your career, maybe you will be helping someone who is having a difficult time at work, or perhaps this is even yourself. Maybe you're having a difficult time at work where you're not sure what you need to be doing. It feels a bit challenging, things feel a bit difficult. So if that's the case, the message, and it was clear in the book as well, was allow love to be your guiding force. And so, what that means is, because when we have an issue or problem, what we try to do is to resolve it using our minds. And so we spend a lot of time thinking about what we should be doing, and our minds are great for helping us to get from A to B, for filling out tax returns and things like that. But when it comes to figuring out where you need to go to next or what the next best steps are, I find my approach has changed to one of getting quiet and feeling into what I'm sensing, what my intuition is saying, what my heart is saying. And so yes, it can probably be a bit challenging if you're not used to doing that, but it's basically just taking the time to get out of your head, because that is where our anxieties and fears reside as well. And so when you're coming from that space, it might not be the most available or coming from a space of possibility. Whereas if you allow yourself to get quiet, you can draw in ideas that perhaps you'd never even thought of. And it's, you could just sit quietly and breathe and just be aware of what's happening around you, or be in nature or anything like that, where you can get into a space where you're not stressed. You're able to relax and to let go and just be in the present moment, and then just see what ideas will come to you. And sure enough, all I can say is when I've set the intention to ask, what do I need to do next, or I need some help right now, and all I do is really just say it from quietly to myself. Or if you believe in in the universe or a great a source outside of yourself, you can ask that same question to them or to it, and I'm sure there will be a response that comes to you. So let's see what the rest of I'm going to shuffle some tarot cards and see what else is coming out in the message. What does group 1 need to know about career? Oops, okay. What else does group 1 need to know? Okay, I've got this. So the first card that popped out was the 4 of Swords. So let's line this up for you. Yeah, so we've got the 4 of Swords, and this is about a card of healing. And so it feels like in regards to an area, an area of your career, perhaps something in the past caused some type of trauma, or was exhausting, or impacted you in some way. And so it's important to give yourself that time to heal from it, to acknowledge what happened, and to really give it that space to be seen, heard and felt. Because oftentimes, and I've done this as well, it's like you go through something quite challenging, and then basically I've been on, okay, what's next? What's the next thing I need to do? And I've forgotten to give it the space to really have its completion. And so what I started to do later on in my career was to really give it the time and space if something had happened, and to ask for closure on the situation, and to really just send that situation love, so that it wouldn't carry through into my new phase of life. So perhaps that's something that resonates with you, and you could do as well. If you feel like the past is still holding on to you, then see what needs closure. Is it maybe spending some time just looking at the situation and acknowledging your feelings, or is it perhaps even having a conversation in your mind with somebody who caused you pain, and being able to express to them how you really felt? So just do whatever feels right for you, to really give it that space for it to, for you to say goodbye and really let it be in your past. And then you've got the 6 of Cups, and the 6 of Cups is about the past as well. It can be, but you can see there, then the cups are our emotions, and you've got the 2 little children playing together. And for me, it evokes nice feelings, for me anyway. And for me, it's a reminder to remember ourselves as our childlike self, where we were joyful and free, and we weren't worried about the future, what the future held and things like that. And so it's almost to try and get into that space, to think, what would life be like if I didn't have to worry, if I wasn't afraid, and I could be carefree as I was when I was younger. And, you know, I know that there, as an adult, we have different responsibilities, but, you know, there's a part of us that is yearning to be carefree again. So give yourself that time to really feel into what that would look like and what that would feel like. And then we've got the Knight of Pentacles, which is of the knights the slowest moving one. And the pentacles represent the physical world or finances. So it's almost saying, you know, spend time healing your past, or if there's a situation that is causing you grief, spend that time healing it. And also, once you've done that, give yourself time to really feel into what you want by giving yourself that carefree feeling, you know, really tuning into that that space of joy and possibility. And then just take small steps towards what it is that you want. Everyone, you know, a lot of people think that we need to make big steps to get what we want, but it's the little steps that really count. Those things that we do every day that add to the big things. So just think of, you know, one thing every day that you can do that will move you towards your goal, and then just start doing that. And then just see what happens, see how life unfolds and how different it will be when you start to do those things. So group 1, that's your message for the week on your career. I hope that helps you, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Hi group 2, welcome to your reading. Looking forward to seeing what the message is for you this week in terms of your career. So let's take a look at what this card says. So this is a Crystal Oracle deck, and the card you've got is Selenite Green. So I'll just read from the book, the guidebook, because I really like the messages that are in there. Selenite Green. Okay, so you can read with me. I hope that it's clear enough for you. So we've got telepathy, soul connection, peace, tranquility. It is possible for you to connect with others energetically on a soul level and infuse them with love and healing. This is telepathic communication in its highest form. Through the formless light of love, it is possible to both send and receive information, providing the information is sought and sent with love. Remember that on a soul level, time and space do not exist. Do not really exist, because all is interconnected and ultimately one. The peace and tranquility you seek can be found by connecting to that ultimate oneness. Go within, for in doing so, you will realize that all is eternal, nothing is ever lost, and that all is eternally present. So that's a very lovely reading. So yes, in terms of your career, it's almost like if you're finding that if you happen to be having, this is just a scenario, if you happen to be having challenges with someone around your career, then it's possible to, you know, communicate with them without necessarily doing it in, you know, real life. And I know that might sound strange, but the fact is that we're all energy. And, you know, if you imagine that, I don't know if you've ever had it happen to you, but the number of times where I've been thinking of someone and they call me, or, you know, vice versa, you know, it's for me over the years it's become more obvious that we communicate all the time. And even if, you know, I do healing from a distance, and, you know, the person who's receiving it can feel it and they experience the changes. So, you know, it's possible to communicate with someone even without actually doing it in the physical. And so what this means is, you know, imagine that you've in a situation where you're having either problems with a boss or colleagues, or, you know, if you have your own business, maybe it's dealing with a particular customer or things like that. what you can do is just sit down, get quiet, and then just in your mind's eye, in your, that space where your imagination is, just imagine having a conversation with them and really talking through what it is that is bothering you, and do it from a loving space. Initially, perhaps if you're feeling, emotional and angry about it, then, allow that to be there. But at the end of the day, relay your message, and, I can assure you that when you do that, the message will be received. And especially, when you do it from a space of love, then, it will be received in that way as well. And, sometimes people don't want to hear things, but, they can't. It's almost like when you come from that loving space, it's definitely received. And so, yes, so if that's you having some issues with, some form of communication or issue or something like that, and try giving that exercise a go. Let's see what else is in your message. So I just shuffle some, shuffle some cards for you. What does group 2 need to know this week? I feel like that wants to come out. What does group 2 need to know? Yikes. Okay, let me just take this one out. And then just one final one. Okay, there we are. Okay. And I just quickly had a look at the bottom of the deck, and there was a Justice card. So it's about things coming back into balance, on your work level. And so if things have felt a bit, either you've been overworking, or, not seeing the results that you want, or things like that, just trust that things are coming back into balance this week, and just take, the little steps that you need to get there. But let's just see what the rest of the cards say. So we've got the Chariot, and the Chariot is about forward movement. So, it's interesting when I just showed you the bottom of the deck, and the Justice card, because it's saying, oops, I'm covering it up with my thumb. There we are. It's saying that things are coming back into balance. And so if you felt like things haven't been moving forward, then, things are moving forward this week. And, we've got the Ace of Wands as well. And so the Ace of Wands is about new beginnings, and it's also new beginnings in action. So, when you start taking forward movement, things will start to evolve as well. And so, and then the Wheel of Fortune is about things that are fated. It's your time. Things are meant to happen that way. And so I don't normally do predictive readings, but it's just more saying that, it's time for things to change. It's time for balance to come into this situation that you're experiencing. And that it's time, really. So it seems like a fairly clear message. Whether you're experiencing something in your career, with a colleague, a boss, or whether you have your own business and it's with someone you're working with, it's to, send that intention to resolve the issue on a loving basis, and, to communicate that, if you can, non-verbally. So you don't need to necessarily say anything unless you feel called to. But, and even before then, if you feel you need to have that conversation, just talk to that person in your mind's eye and express to them what you really want to say, so that when you do talk to them, it will be clear and it will come across, with the love or the intention that you really mean it to, rather than just being full of emotion. And with it being Mercury retrograde at the moment, it's really important to pay attention to how you communicate, because we might not always, when Mercury goes retrograde, our communication or ability to communicate gets impacted. So it's really important to take care in this area. And so then, if you're wanting things to change in your career, then take those steps that you need to in order to create this new beginning that is waiting for you. And it's time for this to all come together. So don't be afraid, or of course it's normal to feel anxious or nervous when you're embarking on something new, but know that things are working out as they're meant to, and as long as you take the steps towards this new phase in whether it's your current situation or you're actually moving into a new phase, things will work out as it's time for it all to unfold. So just allow that to happen. So I hope that resonates with you, group 2, and if it doesn't, then it might be that you need to look at one of the other groups. But yes, I hope that helps in some way, and I'll see you at the next reading. Bye. Hi, group 3, welcome to your reading on your career message for this week. So let's see what the card is saying. So you've got Tiger's Eye. I'm going to read from the guidebook because I think the messages are pretty clear in there. So let's see what that is. Tiger's Eye. Okay, I hope you can read that. So we've got calm, clarity, balanced emotions, communication, and intuition. So if you have been plagued with negative thoughts lately, then Tiger's Eye crystal will help you rid yourself of unwanted thoughts and help you regain a positive and more inspiring attitude. You'll soon begin to see things clearly and realize that there was really nothing to fear in the first place. Calm your thoughts and start to listen to your intuition. Know that all is well and that only love surrounds you. This card is also to do with communication. You may avoid unnecessary turmoil and problems by communicating clearly with others. Don't be afraid to express your views honestly and make sure there is no misunderstanding. You will gain respect and admiration for doing so. So the main things coming out for me in terms of your message is about communication and really trusting your intuition. So if there's something in terms of your career where perhaps you've been afraid to really speak your truth, you might want to watch last week's energy reading, because it was all about speaking your truth. But it's about communicating truthfully and authentically, and that can be hard because we all fear rejection or not being accepted because of what we say and do. But the more that we can align with our truth, then the more that we attract that into our lives, and the things that no longer resonate, they start to fall away because they don't align with you anymore. So it's really important to really know what is your truth. And we know that because or you will know that when you feel it in your body, when you're feeling the pressure to do something, but in your body it feels uncomfortable. And so our body is always giving us signs of what is right for us and what isn't right for us. So really tune into that, and if you're used to saying yes, is it time for you maybe to say no, like, no, I can't do that right now, or to set clear boundaries with people. A lot of people are afraid of setting boundaries because they're afraid that people won't like or accept them as a result. But actually, when we set clear boundaries, it really helps the relationship, because people know where they stand, there's clarity, and it's just a lot easier to manage. So if that's something that resonates with you, I really encourage you to be clear about what is your yes and what is your no, and what you're willing to do and what really doesn't feel right for you, and to really have the courage to speak that truth. And the other thing about the card is also to really trust your intuition. For me, our intuition is our superpower. It's what helps us to figure out what our next step is, what our path is, by just tuning into that feeling. And maybe in the past it's been difficult for you to do that, but it's time to start really giving it the attention that it deserves, because I can honestly say that it will help you in so many ways. So learning to trust your intuition is a real, it's so important, and it's truly a gift. So I'm just going to see what other messages there are for you. So what other messages are there? Oops, there goes one for group 3. What other message? Okay, here we go. Okay, that's interesting. Group 2 got the 6 of Cups as well. And then what have we got? Okie dokie. So you've got the Tower card, which looks rather scary, but it's really just saying, that perhaps at the moment your foundations are being shaken. What you knew to be true perhaps no longer feels true, feels right. And, despite what your feelings or, your thoughts might be about it, change is, a good thing. And oftentimes we do need to be shaken out of our current way of thinking and doing things, because we get so used to it, we get comfortable. And comfortable feels nice, but it's not necessarily good for our growth and learning. And if you want to keep expanding and feeling more confident in yourself and more self-assured, then stepping into the unknown and breaking free of old thought patterns, just old things, is really, really important. So if you're going through a moment where you feel like you don't really know what is at the moment, where you stand, what you're doing, just know that it's happened for a reason. It's being shaken because a new path is being created for you. I've had quite a few Tower moments in my life, and I can certainly understand that it doesn't feel comfortable, but after the experience, I'm always grateful that it's happened, because it's helped me move on to something even better. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And so then you've got the 6 of Cups, and this is about our emotions, and 6 also is about love. And so it reminds me, and also the children as well, like that part in our lives where we were innocent and full of love. And it's not that we're not anymore, it's just that as adults we've learned to operate in a certain way to keep ourselves safe and comfortable. And so there's a message here about going back into that space of love, innocence, and not being like a child necessarily, but having those similar what would you call it, qualities, or you know, going back to a space in time where you thought freely, creatively, and you're full of joy and innocence. And so, and that's bringing me to intuition. That's a word that just came into my mind. Is, when you do that, you trust in your intuition because you're not worried about what's going to happen next, how things are going to unfold. You just stay in the moment. And that's a gift that our intuition provides us. It allows us to do that because we know it will help us each step of the way. And I can say that with 100% certainty that is the case. We might not always know what we're going to do, but when the moment is right, we'll be told. Our intuition will tell us. And so it's about allowing yourself to trust in that as well. If you're in a space now where you don't really know, what you're meant to do or what's happening, or there is a communication issue with someone in your life. And then we've got the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is, they like to call it the card of waiting for your ships to come in. And so, maybe if you're in that space of waiting, of trying to, really see the rewards of what you've been doing, or, waiting for the next step to come through, it's to really just go back to trusting in your intuition and allowing it to come through. It will come through when the time is right. It won't, we're not machines, so we can't command it to come at a certain time. But if we just allow, relax, and, trust, things will work out as they're meant to and for our highest good. So that's your message, Group 3. I hope that resonated with you. If not, then try the other 2 groups to see if they work for you. Okay, thanks so much. Speak to you soon. Bye.